Hi everyone, and welcome to a new video of WaddleArt here on YouTube. I am WaddleArt, aka Waddler, and I do traditional and digital art as well as put that art on little projects and products and anything else that is paper related. As such, today's video is going to be about pins and pin making. So in regards to that subject, I have a couple of those examples here, such as of Frizzle the Dragon on a pin. He's so freaking cute. As well as a little cup of cocoa and a cinnamon bun, also super adorable as well. And I'm going to go through the process of showing you how I made these, and some mistakes have happened. Some of them didn't turn out. Lamination went slightly wrong in terms of lamination sheets beneath the pin sheets. But otherwise, some of them turned out really well as laminated pieces. As you can see the lamination on the bottom of this one. It looks really good. This one was a bottle opener, which I am actually kind of shocked that it turned out super well. But it did. It turned out really good. So hopefully you'll enjoy this little ride with me as I show you how I went through making all of these pins, and let's see what happens from there. Let's go. When it came time to start cutting out the art pieces to be able to make my pins, magnets, and bottle openers, I initially wasn't too sure of how well this was actually going to end up working, but it actually worked pretty well considering that it was a pretty simple little gadget to be able to make the 2¼ sized circles of the art pieces that I needed to make these items. Initially, I was pushing way too hard on the blade, which started causing the paper to have little tiny tails of additional paper being cut, which didn't hurt anything, but I started eventually realizing I could be pretty soft with my touch on this. So eventually, it got better. When I was applying the lamination holographics to the cover of some of these pieces, every single one of them turned out actually pretty much spot on perfect without much of an issue. The only problem that I came across, which I will show later in the video, is because of the additional thickness that this holographic lamination added to the pin when it came to the pin making process, it made it almost impossible to be able to have it for a couple of the variations of either pin or magnet or bottle opener. The one that I had the problem with was unfortunately just the plain magnet itself. For some reason, it's just a little bit too thick to be able to connect to the back portion that has the magnet backing on it to be able to close up the piece. So that was unfortunately one of the things that you just kind of have to experiment with. Is it going to be able to work for the piece? Is it too thick? Do you just have to go without having the pretty lamination holographic on it? Or maybe something else can be figured out. Maybe a thinner paper. Who knows? But I don't want to give up my quality for the quantity aspect of things either. When I first got the pin making machine, I was ecstatic. I wanted to just start making things right away, didn't care what or how or anything. But as I started getting more familiarized with the machine, I realized I had to finagle the positioning of being able to make sure that the art and the back of the pin were lined up correctly. So it was a bit of a trial and error, and you'll end up seeing that closer to the end of the video of how they ended up turning out and what I'll be doing with those ones that didn't quite turn out perfect. There's nothing wrong with them, but they're not centered as I would like them to be. This one, however, turned out absolutely perfect because I figured out exactly how to position the piece and how to position the back to make sure that they lined up and were a perfect top facing, bottom facing, everything lining up just right to make sure that when you're looking at frizzle, it's not slightly to the left or slightly to the right in a lopsided way whatsoever. So as you're seeing here, I'm being very meticulous about how it's positioned, and you'll see a little bit of a white dot on the tops of both sides of the holders, and that's how I know if it needs to be slightly adjusted to the right or to the left to ensure that it is a full centered pin. And in this case, it turned out flawlessly with frizzle looking right at you as intended with a perfectly straight back. Mwah! I love it when it happens great like that. In this one, I'm doing another pin of frizzle, but this particular frizzle is holographic laminated. And I wanted to see if this would actually turn out really, really well. And it did, and I was so excited to be able to make him with a very beautiful holographic covering on his artwork. And when he was finished and I popped him out, I was so happy with how he came out of the machine, and I absolutely can't wait to be able to make more of these that have that little bit of something extra for all of you to be able to enjoy. So for this particular Waddler pin, it was a laminated one. Unfortunately, sometimes duds do happen, and for this one, it was no exception. Sometimes they just don't turn out correct. An error can happen unbeknownst to you exactly how it could be that that's the case. But for this one, that's exactly what happened. However, the first one of these turned out absolutely fantastic. The second one that's about to show up here, this is the one that ended up messing up. And I'm not exactly sure why that happened, but trial and error, things go wrong. Things sometimes don't go wrong, but you got to be able to take the good and the bad when you're making things by hand, which is absolutely fine by me. In this second attempt, however, for the lamination of a Waddler pin, it went absolutely fine. So, unlike the previous one, it didn't happen out to be a good one, which is fine. You just remake it and keep going. But sometimes that one can also mess up too. Thankfully, this one turned out wonderfully, perfectly straight, and there was no problems with this particular August Waddler. Very, very, very happy with how it had turned out, and definitely loving the holographic lamination on these pins. So when I was finally able to get everything finished as I had wanted, I was able to make a mixture of regular backed pins of my characters, as well as I was able to also make some additional bottle openers, which also double up as a magnet, which is really, really neat. It also makes them nice and heavy and sturdy. But additionally, I was also able to just do regular magnets too. They're incredibly light, but the only problem with the regular magnet is it does not allow for the holographic lamination that can go over the image. So you can see the difference between the two of these. This one is just a regular, thick, about 90-ish poundage paper, versus this one is also the same 90 poundage paper, but it has a holographic lamination over the art and then beneath the circle laminate that goes onto making the pin. So there was definitely a lot of trial and error with making these pins and some bottle openers and magnets, but it's all a learning process. Of course, with that learning process comes your oopsie pins. So there was quite a few oopsies, and they ranged from pins to magnets, even a bottle opener. So most of these actually are perfectly fine quality-wise, but they may not be perfectly straight. So this is perfectly straight facing me, but as I turn it over, it's slightly tilted to the right. So as a result of that, I didn't feel good putting that as a, yep, this is a perfect piece. So this is one of the oopsies as well. But there's a lot of other oopsies in here just from being crooked, and that's absolutely okay. They do happen. But I'm very glad that you decided to come along with me on making pins for my shop, as well as magnets as well. Same thing, some of them are just a little not super flush, but they're still fine. They're just oopsies. So these will be all up in my shop within the next couple of days. The oopsies will be at a super discounted price, but there's nothing wrong with them. Might be slightly tilted to the right or to the left. The magnet may be slightly uneven, but they're enclosed. and they're still really, really, really cute. So thank you so very much for being with me today to come on this adventure of making pins from home at your drawing desk, art table, wherever it is. But I absolutely appreciate it, and I appreciate you. So until the next one, keep being fantastic and keep waddling on. Bye for now, everyone.